Hello, hi. Welcome to Tea Time with Tocklai. In this episode, I would like to talk about stress management. It won't be an exaggeration if I say that the planters get stressed once they see stress of the plant. So, to talk about this today, I have invited Dr. Pradeep Patel, who's an expert in stress management of tea, to come and then talk to us in this show. Welcome, Dr. Pradeep.
Thank you very much, sir, for inviting me to today's talk. I am excited for the discussion.
Pleasure. We are also equally excited, actually. It's a stress management in tea, as I rightly said. People get stress on seeing stress in the tea plant. So, before getting into that, just enlighten us how many types of broad categories of stress we can see in tea.
Generally, there are two broad categories, particularly the abiotic stress and biotic.
There are only two categories. And then which is more applicable for tea?
Both are applicable, but generally we consider as abiotic stress.
Yeah. So what is biotic?
Biotic means it is a stress created by the living organism, like insect pest, diseases, and some planting material like weeds.
Okay. So, suppose if the human movement inside the plantation, human operations inside the plantations will also be biotic?
Yes, if you hinder the growth or any kinds of disturbance of the plant,
they are all known as biotic stress. So the stress created by microbial population,
yes,
that is also biotic.
Biotic stress.
Okay. Now we will talk about abiotic stress. What is it predominantly? How is it affecting us?
Yes, definitely, sir. Generally, if you talk about the abiotic stress, particularly the drought, so it is very serious, in particular tea plantation and widespread.
Okay. Apart from drought, is there any other abiotic stress?
There are many kinds of like waterlogging stress.
Waterlogging is one of the abiotic stress.
Abiotic is a severe, but localized.
Okay.
And tea plantations, and another one is a high temperature stress.
Okay,
it's threat rising this time.
I know it's
and one is the hail damage.
Hail damage also.
These are the four main. This considered as a abiotic, particularly tea plantations. Okay. Other stresses also available.
Yeah, waterlogging and hail damage and heat induced stress. I think these are all isolated incidences.
Yes,
they cannot happen in a larger area. Yeah. But as you rightly said, the drought can be larger area. Depending on the gardens facing to the sun and things like. Okay, enlighten us more about the drought-induced stress.
Yes. So drought actually, earlier we reported in the winter period from November onward to February. So this is the pause time for tea manufacturing, and that's a stress, low moisture content. And nowadays, in present conditions, the mid-season drought is also very more alarming situation in the tea industry.
But tea roots are known to be deep-rooted, like 3 meters, 5 meters, the depth, even more than that sometimes. Yeah. In spite of it, you get into stress, drought stress.
So, according to the tea plantations, we have planting materials. So, two types of planting material used in tea plantation.
Okay.
For seeds as well as clones. So this ratio is 50-50 in the tea gardens.
Yeah.
So clone is a shallow rooted.
Okay.
Compared to the seed. Seed is a deep rooted because tea is a dicotyledons and there's a taproot system. So this ratio maintained because the shallow rootages get more affected. Clones are more affected compared to the seed sections. So that's why the planting committee maintained this ratio 50-50, and among the 50, 5 clones are there and seed also mixing with the seed population.
Yeah. On the other side, we also talk about clones that are resistant to drought tolerant clones rather. Yes. What is your thought about it? Whether they will also be shallow rooted compared to seedlings?
Yes, clonal pattern is root pattern is similar, but they
Okay.
have the tendency some their tolerance mechanism in the plant systems.
Okay. It's not about the root system. Mostly it is about the
The mechanism of
mechanism of plant
plant.
manifestation.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us a little more about drought stress, how it appears in the tea field, or how we can categorize or how we can visualize the drought stress on tea.
Generally, sir, a drought we visualize of is very easy if your
Okay.
moisture content is less, particularly our winter season as well as in the mid-season droughts. So wilting appearance in the leaf
Okay.
and the leaf rolling, that is the morphological observations and chlorophyll degradations.
And I presume that it will be a wilting appearance from the top of the layer of the leaf or bottom. I think it should be on the top
Top.
because of sun and other issues.
Its top 10 centimeters cannot be. Maintenance leaf also wilting. And if severe occurrence is severe, that chlorophyll degradation is happening.
Okay.
And that's why the leaf senescence also triggered.
So the planters can easily visualize that this stress is due to drought. Maybe the image which you are showing here will be useful to them. Okay, once drought stress is appearing on the field, how to control it?
It is the very cultural methods we have our management of drought. So if drought management, if drought is occurs in the mid seasons, so the planters think any growth regulator apply in the drought areas, affected areas, but it is very toxic to the plants also.
Okay.
So in the stress conditions, growth regulator application is not
recommended at all. That is an important information actually. Okay.
And what are the mechanisms? I just few words say to that.
Please.
Under plant and stress conditions, already they are stressed. Photosynthesis is declining, carbon assimilation is stopped, and diversion of their assimilate productions is hampered. So in this situation, if you apply any growth regulators or planters apply any growth regulators, that triggered forced growth.
Okay.
And that time plants is also in the mode of their survival and growth. This is trade-off between survival and growth.
Oh.
So plant mechanism shift to the protection mechanism. And that if you apply any growth regulator, again they create the toxicity of the plants.
Yeah, it creates another stress rather.
Stress also. Yeah. Not a growth properly.
So what are they supposed to do?
So for the remedies or their alternatives, we can say that use the amino acid compounds.
Okay.
Or other compound like seaweed extract. And it is not a growth promoting. It is a protective mechanism in these compounds. And humic acid also very useful nowadays. And some other reports also, like we also tested salicylic acid. It is a very low amount and also strengthening the plant for antioxidant system and improve the water use efficiency and maintain the photosynthetic system and photosynthesis. That's why he healed the plant, not to trigger the growth.
Okay.
Ultimately, plants heal up or stress-free, then grow their season-wise.
Suppose if you don't apply these kind of seaweed extract or amino acid composition, will they wilt or will they still survive and then revival will be slower? What is why we should apply this?
Because this time actually the mid-season conditions that trigger these situations, these three ways. First, if the stresses comes, so plant it totally depend on the store metabolism. They are stored in carbohydrate synthesis and their partitioning of the plant toward the growth to shoots.
Okay.
But that stresses comes, so stomatal closure is happening. This is first line of defense. So stomatal closure, CO2 is cut off, photosynthesis decline. And another way, the shoots depend on the stored carbohydrate. Their diversion, their partitioning is different. They are not going to the shoots, they are going to the stem or their maintenance, the energy consumption for maintenance things.
Okay.
And again, the third one is hormonal imbalance. So synthesis of dormant hormone like ABA in comparison to auxin and cytokinase. So that three ways plants adjust their for survival.
Correct. One thing is very interesting here. We often talk about stomatal opening
Yeah.
and then stomatal closure.
Closing.
Can you give some more information about when the plants will close the stomatal opening or
Yes.
when they open up completely? Uh, what is actually a favorable mechanism for tea growth?
So actually, the in the drought conditions, so stomata closing is a defense mechanism of the plants.
Okay.
But it is long run.
Mm.
Stomata is closed, CO2 entry is stopped, photosynthesis declined. So all the assimilation is stopped. But we need to stomata open
Okay.
for stomatal conductance like CO2 entry
Mm-mm.
and gas exchange also. So in this time, particularly like potassium ion, people use MOP,
Okay.
particularly in drought period.
Yeah.
That is the stomatal regulation compounds. So stomata potassium ions help to opening the stomata
Mm.
and membrane their exchange of cations. So if potassium is if you apply, they maintain the turgidity of the cell as well as the opening of the stomata.
Okay. So it is actually helping to open the stomata to the extent needed for the
Yes, plant.
drought management. Okay, that's a good information. And you also talked about salicylic acid, which is getting momentum, I could see from the planters. But is there any word of caution there? Like, because an acid is an acid, whether it is weak or strong, it is immaterial. Acid is an acid. So, in case if the dosage goes slightly up, it is going to really hamper the area where where it is getting sprayed. So, do you have any word of caution, or it is very
No, sir.
easy to handle?
Salicylic acid is an organic compound. It is plant product, particularly Salix alba. It is a tree. So that compound isolated from the salix. So that
Okay.
salicylic acid is organic. It is a non-toxic and generally used in the medicinal like aspirin and other health benefits. But particularly in plants, the salicylic acid is a wonderful compound. It acts as a strengthening the antioxidant system of the plants and very few low doses is work.
Okay.
1 millimolar is sufficient. We are tested around last 5 years in the different gardens also. This drought management programs we funded by the DRF. These projects are also completed, and the in-house work trials also we continued after the project completions. So 5 locations, including Doars and drought-prone areas also. So the planters reports say that this is a very effective and they are not toxic to the plants.
They are not toxic to the plant. But let us once again stick to the 1 millimolar concentration, right?
Yes.
That is what is very important. Because the concentration should not go up.
Yeah.
Uh, because salicylic acid is sprayed in a condition that already the plants are under stress. So if there is any toxicity created by it,
We tested it around 0.5, 1 millimolar, 2 millimolar, up to 5.
Okay.
But the 1 millimolar is optimum.
Optimum.
It is not required to go up.
Go up.
On it's a per hectare basis is a very less amount, like 55.6 grams something.
Can it be combined with any other molecule for spraying, or it is better to spray alone?
It is better to spray alone.
Okay. All right. Okay, let us go to the next stress which you have identified as water logging as a major stress, but then you also pointed that it is a localized one. Can you enlighten us?
So we know to the Assam is a high rainfall zones and also the erratic rainfalls. And the tea plantation across these northeast states, it is some hilly areas, low-lying areas, and gardens are northeast states also some drainage issues. So this type of problem is localized, not a wide spread. So those tea states are low-lying areas, and drainage is poor, that suffer more. It is
Only
severe.
some pockets can go under this
But
stress.
impact is very severe.
Severe impact. So, and then actually we had an episode with Dr. Khalil also. He was also pointing out very clearly that looking at the soil, you cannot really predict whether it is a waterlogging stress or not. Because the depth of the water can be at a few meters down. Still, it is always stagnated, and then that can affect the tea bush. So, in this case, how do they identify the stress is created by waterlogging?
Yes, sir. It is a very good question. Particularly, those areas, those are low-lying areas.
Yeah.
The plants give the symptoms, particularly waterlogging symptoms. If you move these areas, there are symptoms like wilting also as a mimic with the drought,
Yes.
but yellowing also there,
Mm.
and there you feel the smell like as H2S gases and
Okay.
this particular areas.
Mm.
So this mossy lands like. So this creation, it's we are not seeing the water in the surface because the root surface is active zone is as a 25 to 30 centimeter in the tea because they are feeder roots.
Yeah.
They are more suffer because small stagnant water in this particular root zone. So this create a problem because root is respiration is hindered due to less oxygen applications.
Less oxygen supply to the root
Root.
is impacting it. Yes, true. That will also bring down the microbial
Yeah.
activities
Yes.
on the soil. Yeah, that's true. When we talk about clear symptom between drought and then waterlogging stress, is there anything else they can find
Yes,
out?
definitely. If we approve the bush, particularly for confirmation of the drought or water loggings, because drought we also observe in the dry areas and other things. But in water logging, if you approve the say push, their roots is you see the roots is upward movements, like the tendency to go upward
Why?
because the search of the oxygens.
Search of oxygen,
This
and
is
then
the
it knows
tendency.
the root knows that oxygen is at the top,
Top.
not at the bottom. Okay.
Also, one of the major symptoms, if you find the collar zones, they are lenticels formations.
Okay.
Lenticels nothing but it is a pores that facilitate the oxygen entry
Okay.
to the plants for survival mechanism.
And that is visible.
Yeah, visible.
Okay. Right. So
And this is the major symptoms. The plants will send the samples to our TRA to identify what are the bush why dying, start dying, or what are the symptoms, what are the cause. So this is the clearly you see the root system as well as the stem portions also. They create the see this they show the symptoms of waterloggings.
and there is no way that we can control it with any chemical spray and things like. They have to follow the recommendation of water technologist.
Yes.
Is that right? Or is there anything else they can make?
Yes, at the time we restrict to the some cultural measures
Okay.
for forking. Particular this section there is a movement of aeration. So
Moment
fogging
of
is very
aeration. Yeah.
essential cultural operations as well as silt removal. Suppose floods is occurs. Floods two types of floods, short term and long term. So short term flood is less than 3 days. So silt also deposit on the soil surface. So that removal is very essential. And fogging is another.
When the silt is depositing on the soil surface, what really happens? Why they should remove it?
Because the aeration is stopped.
It will arrest the aeration between
yes.
soil and air. Okay, that's good.
And fogging facilitated the aeration to the plants. And also, if it is severe, so we use the zinc sulfate and other compounds.
As a foliar application.
Foliar application. Because at the time, the soil application is not recommended.
Yes.
Because the soil is already
the roots are not functioning properly.
Not functioning, anaerobic respiration, the energy shortage, that not uptake the nutrient from the soils.
True.
So that's why that time only suggests to foliar application in the plant surface, some nutrients.
Foliar application and also the field practices. Okay, that's good. And the third one we were talking about is about high temperature stress. How that looks like?
So earlier, this kind of stress is not noticed generally in the tea plantation, but nowadays the climate changes occurs. So the heat waves also comes in the particular tea these areas also. So high temperature is very it is very rising threats nowadays.
Yeah.
So the sudden burn the leaf scorching is there, and leaf is black and papery. So, because the high heat load on the leaf, the tea is a magic plant require the moisture, proper moisture for their ideal growth. So, any kind of stress, tea is favored only the 30, 31, 25 to 30 is ideal for growth in the tea plantation. But now, in last few years, I also noticed the temperature is above 35.
Yes.
35 to 38. Some gardens recorded 39 also. So that photosynthesis totally stopped because above 30, 32, so declining trend is started.
Photosynthesis will decline after 30, 35, 32.
So tea is also the shade-loving plants.
Yeah, in a way that the planters should take it very positively to mitigate the climate change in the micro environment. That is what we are stressing too much now. Because we started now giving a perception to the planters that climate change is happening. Climate change is not happening. We are producing climate change. And it is easy to mitigate by doing some adjustments in the micro environment.
Yes.
That is what is that's what we started talking now to the planters. Looks like they are coming forward now to mitigate the localized climate change,
Yes.
for that matter. When you talked about mesic plant,
Yeah.
can you explain what is that?
Mesic plant is nothing but it is a that plant. They require the optimum moisture for their growth and development. Not too high, not too dry.
Tea is
Tea is one
mesic
of
plant.
mesic plants,
That's a
and
good
also
news.
the shade loving.
Yeah.
So that's why the high temperature is create a sun scorching all that for the
Tea is a mesic plant, but still it is not under irrigation. At least 90% of the tea growing areas
yeah,
are not under irrigation, I can confidently say. So it is a rain fed agriculture almost. That's good. Is there any other way to um, alleviate the effect of high temperature by applying some chemicals or
so best way to manage the high temperature stress in the garden, the tea plantations, to maintain the shade.
shade trees?
Shade management is very important.
Okay.
It is not provide the shade, particularly increase the microclimatic condition of the tea bushes for tea surfaces to cut off the light and maintain the temperature that require for plant photosynthesis and other things also. So it is a cut off the 50% cut light, and also the radiation, particularly tea required optimum radiation for 1200 micromole for ton per meter square per second.
Okay.
So their shade is important trees that cut the light and maintain the level of 1200 if managed properly. And below, not too high, not too sparse set is very important.
So for shade,
Yes.
we have proper recommendation.
Yes.
But is there anything else we do extra if you identify a particular field which is getting exposed to the high temperature?
Yes. If suppose this shade is not proper,
Yeah.
but garden also the alternatives. If
Not proper means not as per the recommendation
as
you are
per the
talking about.
recommendation.
So if they have the shade as per the recommendation, that is enough to mitigate this problem.
Yes, along with this conservation of water bodies,
Okay.
because garden have the water bodies, and if not, they're the most sensitive. Their creation of the water bodies.
Okay.
So these are the basic ways, and also generally we in case of shade, two types of shade trees also there, for permanent shade and temporary.
Temporary. Yeah.
And shade species also is a matter.
Yes.
If you not all the trees are shade in the tea plantations, because there are specific characteristics like the compound leaves, bipinnate, leguminous plants that also supplement to nitrogen to the tea leaves. And it is not compatible with the tea plants. Shade tree also is a deep rooted
Okay.
and tea is a shallow rooted. So their nutrient zone is different for absorption of nutrient and water. So that is very important. So we have some selection criteria for shade selections, shade tree, and what we use the temporary shades. Their species are different because their life cycle is 10 to 12 years for temporary shades, and in case of permanent, they're more than 20 years.
Why do you call them as temporary shade? Is
Because
there
life cycle is less.
only because of the life cycle?
Because life. And they temporary means the if you plantation a young tea plantation, they need early shade. So temporary shade is a they are
Will
growing
come quick.
fast cover is the their areas.
Okay.
So
So along with the young tea, normally you bring up the temporary shade, and then with the permanent shade, you replace them over the period of time. All right. And the last point which you were mentioning about the stress was hail damage. How is that affecting our area here? Is there? I don't find any hail damage happening in Assam, at least where we are sitting, Jorhat.
sir, the hail damage is not here is reported,
Okay.
but is very acute, and it is noticed in the
Okay.
Barak Valley. It's mostly often,
Okay.
and it is very severe. Up to 50% maybe crop loss in the seasons particularly.
True. I can imagine hail damage, how potential it is to create.
It is not only damage the young tree as well as the maintenance foliage is totally defoliated, and talk about the leaves and bush frame also deframe.
Oh,
So if medium prune or LP sections, their bark is splitted. So
oh my God.
recovery is very difficult in this particular area.
Oh, that's unbelievable. So
Yeah.
big cubes are falling.
Yes.
Okay.
And after that, the damages if within 48 hours or 24 hours, if you not apply the COC, so poria again the create problem because their bark is splitted. So entry of the poria is very easy.
The moment they have the hail damage, it is better to go with COC application,
Yes, COC application
just to
within the
avoid
24
some
hours.
fungus to
Yes.
spread across.
And the bark is not recovered as much as because
I know.
already the physical damage also. Leaves stalk, not a surface to absorb any kind of nutrient because all the leaves are teared. So, and this particular moment, TRA also circulates some bulletin called health damage management
Yeah.
and time to times. And they recommend the use of NA, naphthalene acetic acid, and
Okay.
zinc sulfate. So they recover their
For the recovery, not for prevention. Nothing we can do prevent it. It's natural.
Yes.
It comes from the top.
Weather phenomena. It is
Weather phenomena. Nothing can be done. Yeah, that's good. But then hail damage, is there any relevant study we have done? Like how long it happens if the hail starts pouring from top? How long it happens in tea field area? And which are the particular months the hail damage occurs? And is it localized or it is in a larger area?
So it is, we can say that localized, particularly not other states, but the valley, particularly Barak Valley, very hot spot, particularly the hill,
Yeah, I can understand. Yes.
because that time flushing is ongoing, rain flush are there.
Okay.
So that is, if the flushing there, the more damage because all the crops were lost.
It will be tender, so it will be easily damaged. Yeah, as you said, there is no prevention method. At the same time, naphthalene acetic acid and then zinc sulfate can really help. Okay. So now we have been talking about all four varieties of stress in the tea plant. Coming back once again to the drought, is there any particular variety which is more susceptible or any differentiation we can give to the planters that this is susceptible, this is not susceptible, this is tolerant, things like?
In this particular aspect, we say because the tea, not a tea variety, we differentiate the types like China type, Assam, and Cambodia. These are three types of tea.
True.
And the Assam type is more suffer to the particular drought.
Okay.
Because their leaf size is big and the planophile leaves means their angle is plane, planophiles. So that surface area is more. So not only drought, particularly high temperature stays also more suffer as compared to the China and Cambodia variety. Assam variety is more.
When the leaf is flat like this, it is fully exposed to the sun. But then when it is erect or semi-erect, then the exposure to sun is less. Yeah, that's a good point. So Assam varieties are known for it, to have flat leaves.
Yes, it is a major characteristic for Assam varieties. They are big leaves, planophiles.
Okay.
So that's why we in selection criteria, for drought tolerance, we are searching for the erectophile leaves.
Okay.
For tolerance to the high temperature in drought also, because they minimize the heat load.
Correct.
So in this line, we have our selection program for the drought tolerance or high temperature tolerance varieties. In this particular trait, we mention.
Okay. Sometimes we see callus formation in the tea. Is it also because of stress?
Yes.
Okay.
We can say that it is a kind of biotic stress.
Biotic stress.
As well as,
okay. Yeah.
Because the insect and fungus, it is also the major cause.
Okay.
And they not only other causes also available like improper growth regulator use and non-tested. So and the herbicide applications also.
Yeah.
If you use the application of the herbicide in the field for control the weeds, and that same spray, if you wash, but is the trace amount like ppm amount also is present in their can, so also trigger the stress conditions and they act as auxins. So that is one of the causes. So all the insect and disease and the growth regulators not tested but properly,
Yeah.
and the herbicides, these are all change the hormonal signaling for auxin and cytokinins.
Okay.
So these signalings also trigger the this particular shoot portion or any growing portions, joint that portions, and that create the secondary growth of the plant cells, like their secondary xylem, secondary phloem, and that particular areas like insect injected. They some elicitors like peptide like compounds and some disease also that have the auxin like properties.
Correct.
So that trigger the oxygen synthesis in that particular area, and that also create the secondary xylem phloem for maintain the plant partitioning of assimilates and mineral transportation water. So plant have tendency to go all the smooth functioning from water transport and that. So their tendency to grow, but this oxygen concentration create a hypertrophy and hyperplasia. Hyperplasia in the sense is division of cell
Okay.
division,
Yeah.
uncontrolled, and the hypertrophy is enlargement of size. So these two, they create a gall-like situations.
Okay.
So and that particular the host, and this we have tested our different garden samples in the cross section of the streams, gall sections.
Okay.
We found that there are many bacteria as well as fungi and other organisms also present.
That's why you call it as biotic stress.
Biotic stress, and that also synthesize the oxygen, because that particular area we also tested in the hormonals
Yeah.
level. So tryptophan and the pathway analysis also say that tryptophan concentration is very high in that particular zone.
What is a remedial measure for this kind of callus
Remedial means
formation?
if calluses occurs in the plant, so it is not controlled. We just cut and remove. But
Cut the area where
cut
callus
the
is
area.
forming. Yeah.
Yes.
It's like a pruning, almost like
Yes.
selectively to that particular branch and
But
push.
care should be taken. Same knife, not use the fresh sections.
Okay.
Otherwise, your fungal and the
In case if there is a fungal infection, it will spread across.
each and every time you sterilize this knife or change the knife
Okay, that's a good suggestion.
for transmission of the control the transmission of these agents.
So in a way, if they follow recommendations properly, TRA recommendations
TRA.
for spraying and then fertilizer application properly, this kind of biotic stress can be minimized. Cannot be uprooted. I mean, cannot be eliminated, but can be minimized if they follow proper recommendation. Dumping of too much of chemicals on the leaf will also create such biotic. And the other thing which you were showing in the image that peppery
Yeah, leaf.
peppery leaf.
Yes.
Uh, is there any observation on the field on that?
Yes,
Like
definitely.
when is it occurring, and then how is it going to impact the yield?
Yeah. Sir, generally this papery and black leaves we notice in recent past, means last 2-3 years, gardens send the samples request to see the what is happening, leaves or blakes. Not only seed section, clonal section also.
Clonal also.
So we go with the team of TRA, different mycologists and soil scientists, physiologists and other team members. Those are the relate to the problems. So we found that this particular time, so temperature is rising suddenly.
Okay.
If moisture is available, no issue. Okay, suppose drought is not there, but temperature is high. So one of the reason is high temperature. So sudden evapotranspiration is takes place that create the papery leaves.
Okay.
If you pluck the leaves, you just crash and the sound created like paper.
Oh.
And that
It loses its tenderness. It becomes a leathery
lead.
leaf. Okay.
So you see just all the like a blanket. So it is very difficult to manage that time because the top maintenance are totally black. So at this time, you not use the great regular suggestions. People are using the suppose any the growth is stopped because the heat load is much more and the tender leaves are die. So there are more chance to disease and other secondary disease also. At that time we use the amino acid like compounds.
Okay.
And other compounds, those are the stress relief, not create the stress.
Yeah. Also, I feel there is a confusion among the people, like growth regulator versus amino acids.
Yes.
People think amino acid is also a growth regulator. Is there any differentiation you wanted to make?
Growth regulators' major role is create the growth, particularly the change in hormonal balance.
Yeah.
So in the natural growth regulator also there in the plant itself, their synthesis takes place regularly. Yeah, this is a natural phenomenon.
Yeah.
If you apply any kind of synthetic growth compounds, they trigger the particularly oxygen concentration and cytokinase. So they trigger the growth, means the differentiation is takes place. But in the case of amino acids like glycine, betaine, and other compounds, they act as osmoprotectants,
Okay.
compatible solutes. They maintain the turgidity of the cells, not create the growth.
So totally two different
Two
functions.
different functions.
So
It
that has to
maintain
be understood clearly.
their osmotic balance that to favor the proper photosynthetic function of the plants.
Okay.
So it has a relieving agents. We can say that.
I think that brings really to the end of this episode. Thank you very much, Dr. Patel, to come here. And one last question, probably if I missed that, are you planning to conduct any workshop or something for the knowledge of the planters on stress management?
Yes, sir. Because the many ASC workshop I attended and presented this particular topic, so planters are very eager to arrange a type of workshop or any kind of training for stress, particularly abiotic stresses.
Yes.
So we think about it in the coming time. I will definitely.
Yeah. We can conduct one in Tocklai, at least we can conduct one. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure, sir. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye. Thanks.